about the reasons for that having happened. There's been a debate for years, we've been calling for this, that it really needs to be a statutory legal duty to do that, and people need to be held to account. If they don't do that, that's the only way that you're going to get true confidence, true partnership between the health system and patients and families, the public, if we can be confident that we are going to be dealt with honestly. The people who come to us invariably are incredibly understanding. People do appreciate that human beings are prone to making mistakes. There will always be a certain degree of honest error that happens in the health service. But what is totally unacceptable is when things go wrong, it gets covered up and buried. That's no way forward. We're making some progress on this campaign. We call it Robbie's Law because this young lad was a 10-year-old boy in South Wales who 20 years ago this month died as a result of a medical error on the part of several GPs. But it wasn't the clinical error that forms the basis of this campaign, ongoing campaign. It's the fact that there was an attempted cover-up. The medical records were actually forged in an attempt to cover up the true circumstances. And to this day, despite substantial evidence that the police and the CPS presented to the General Medical Council, for technical reasons it wasn't possible to prosecute legally, the General Medical Council have said, whilst it's in their code, so there isn't a statutory legal duty to be open and honest, but it is in the professional codes of nurses and doctors. So one would think the GMC would do something about it. They decided that the issue wouldn't be investigated, not because there wasn't evidence, not because there was some difficulty because of the time that had elapsed of practical investigation, but because the issue wasn't important enough, was not sufficiently of public interest to create an investigation after this length of time, because after all, it was just about forgery of medical records, attempted cover-up. So how far we can trust the GMC and other regulators to actually live up to enforcing that part of the code is called into question. We are making progress. It is in one of the parties' manifesto, a formal commitment. The Liberal Democrats put it in their manifesto to actually create a legal duty of candour. Ministers, in fairness, before the general election had agreed to actually set up a working party. There is a working party working at the moment looking at the practicalities of setting up a legal duty of candour as part of the regulations for the Care Quality Commission and the similar arrangements in other parts of the country. So watch this space. Without this, really all of our efforts are going to be stymied. John Moore Robinson is a local example. Came into A&E in Stafford, discharged with suspected rib injuries. He died of a bleeding spleen. However, not only was it a clinical error, but there was subsequently a suppression of an internal investigation report which showed that there had been serious failings, that the department knew about it, and this information was withheld not only from the family, but from the coroner undertaking John's inquest. Thank you. I've gone over my time. Our contact details are there. You've got the leaflet, but I am here the whole day, and I look forward to speaking to you during the course of the day.